There's a couple exciting Nintendo Switch stories we have to talk about today, starting with Mario Strikers Battle League actually being available for a free demo download today and an online event that will be coming up next week. Then the big talking point for today's video is multiple topics on the Nintendo Switch Online front, as not only did we get the brand new updates that hit the service yesterday, Nintendo also acknowledged a very important issue with the service publicly, and they even have a brand new free promotion that we have to break down all the details of right now. What's up, Nation? If it's your first time on the channel, make sure you join Sunbro Nation by subscribing below, hit the like button on this video if you enjoy it today, and make sure you turn on your bell notification icon so you're kept up to date with all the newest gaming news. Now, as I mentioned, guys, we got a few different stories to unpack today, and we have to kick it off with some brand new information and promotions around Mario Strikers Battle League, which I am very hyped for. Mario Strikers, the series in general, is by far and away my favorite Mario sports title. We have a bunch of brand new information around this game today, as we are actually fastly approaching its release in June, and the media marketing blitz for this title is now in full effect. And to get on the same page with all the details on the promotions and how you guys can go download the free demo right now, I want to quickly hop over to VGC and read through their detailed typed up article together. Mario Strikers Battle League demo announced for Nintendo Switch Online. Play through the tutorial now ahead of multiplayer sessions next week. Mario Strikers Battle League First Kick demo is available to download now, with players initially able to sample a tutorial. They will then be able to access online multiplayer sessions next week, with 6 time slots available to play quick battle online games with friends or other players from June 3rd through the 5th. And I'll have a link to this article so you guys can click on the US and UK times that they do have outlined for this event. Now, for me personally, this is a genius marketing strategy and something that I love to see Nintendo lean into, with a free preview of gameplay for a game that's not even out yet, and you'll actually be able to take it online next week. To clarify, right now it is just the tutorial that is available in part of this demo download that's on the eShop, which, by the way, plays great. I only got through about half of the sections in the tutorial, but the controls feel super crisp. Everything plays exactly as you would want it to in a traditional Mario sports game. But for whatever reason, for me personally, Battle League just sticks out above the other Mario sports titles, and VGC even had a hands-on first impressions with the game, stating that it might be hands down the best Mario sports title ever created. And I can tell you guys, just from the brief tutorial gameplay, that I can see myself having hours and hours of fun, specifically leaning into the online play section of things. They're going to have rankers and leaderboards and multiple different unlockables as you progress the game. Now, one thing that absolutely can be viewed as a negative, and something that I've griped about on the channel here before, is with more recent releases of Mario sports titles, we've seen them launch extremely light on content and then slowly get drip feed updates to bring up the character roster, stage roster, and different gameplay modes. And while we don't know exactly what the roadmap will be for this game, we do have now Nintendo confirming that it will be set up for a schedule of free updates that will include things like new characters added in. While some people may like that as a reason to boot up the game again and check out the brand new character or gameplay mode, I would prefer to have the game heavy on content right out of the gate. That said, if the gameplay is as enjoyable as it seems to me so far, I'm sure I can get past some of the lighter content options and just dive head into the online leaderboard section of things, team up with leagues and things. Like, I'm very excited for this game to launch, and I think that it is genius marketing on Nintendo's front to go ahead and put this out right now as a free demo with an online gameplay session for next week. Now, you will have to be a Nintendo Switch Online subscriber to access that free promotion, but we're going to be talking about at the end of the video a way that you can sign up for free for a limited time, so make sure you do stick around for those instructions in case if you're not subscribed today. But I want to hear from you guys in the comments down below where your hype level lies for Mario Strikers Battle League. Are you planning on checking out this demo and playing online over next weekend, or is this just one of those games that doesn't interest you in particularly? And also share with me your personal feelings on the games launching a little bit lighter on content in terms of Mario sports games, then getting that drip feed update roadmap schedule, because that's definitely something that I am not a fan of, but I do know that other people like to have reasons to go back into games later on and check out new content. So I want to hear from you guys on all things Mario Strikers Battle Leagues in the comments down below. Now, the other story we're talking about today is really multiple topics and updates, but it all has to do with NSO, so we're going to wrap them into one here, starting off with the update schedule that we saw hit yesterday, that we did, of course, discuss in yesterday's video, that yes, indeed, there was online maintenance scheduled for the SNES and NES app, and of course, when we see that happen, 9 times out of 10, if not always at this point, we can expect new games to actually hit those apps, and that is exactly what happened late yesterday evening. And if you guys watched that video, you probably know that my expectations were relatively high, or at least I was pumped for some new games to be added to those classic consoles, as we are now starting to see Nintendo get into more of a groove with updating all 4 of the consoles that are available on the service, not just the brand new ones being N64 and Sega Genesis. So I was talking about, let's see Nintendo pay some licensing rights and get some banger games on here, like the Mickey Mouse games from the SNES era. Let's get Goof Troop on there. Let's get some of the Mega Man games that we saw as part of that leaked emulator build on the NES, at least. Maybe some classic RPGs that people have been asking for forever, especially Super Mario RPG. And what were the games we saw Nintendo unveiled? You got Pinball on the NES, Congo's Caper on the SNES, and Rival Turf, all classic 10 out of 10 bangers that people have been asking for the service this entire time. Yes, it was fantastic to see Nintendo deliver such an amazing update to the service, and I'm sure everybody is equally hyped. Clearly, I'm being sarcastic. This is definitely one that was a letdown for me personally, and I do hope that as time goes on, they pour some more money to get the games that people really want to see, because to me, this feels like, I mean, am I going to play any of these games? Congo's looked okay. Like, I might actually jump in and check out that just for the art style and graphics. It holds up decently well. I couldn't care less about the other 2 games, and I know that if you had nostalgia for those, no offense intended, but it's just one of those things that I don't think there's many gamers out there that were asking for games like this to be added to the service, and I hope that Nintendo realizes that they need to do updates to quality games that people actually bought and do have heavy nostalgia for, and that's what's going to generate new subscribers for the service, not things like, I mean, who's signing up to play Pinball on the NES? Maybe you have some childhood memories of that game, but most likely that is not going to be a draw or a reason for anybody to sign up to Nintendo Switch Online, which is what Nintendo wants from users at the end of the day. So I am hopeful that we get better games in the future and more of that classic library that people are still wanting to see added into these services going forward. But all of that remains to be seen for now. So for future updates, especially on the NES and SNES library of games, I would say just err on the side of caution and have your expectations set for those kind of bottom of the barrel games that nobody really knows what they are. And that's kind of where my expectations are going to be for the foreseeable future, until we do see Nintendo step up and deliver some more quality ones. And one thing we do have to commend Nintendo on today with Nintendo Switch Online is something that we rarely, if ever, see them do, and that is publicly acknowledge an issue that is discovered to be a game-breaking glitch or bug, and we actually saw them take to Twitter with the following statement around Kirby 64 and the Crystal Shards, because you guys may remember on the channel we talked about a user that discovered that, of course, there is a soft lock in that game that if you get hit underwater, Kirby's animations essentially just freeze and stop working, and you have to completely exit the level and try to go navigate through the water sections without getting hit to not potentially trigger that bug. And to my surprise today, Nintendo tweeted out the following: a bug has been found in Kirby 64, the Crystal Shards for Nintendo 64 and Nintendo Switch Online that can prevent players from progressing under a certain condition. A patch will be released early next week to fix this. We apologize for the inconvenience. Now that may sound like a nothing story to some of you out there, but when I tell you it is a rarity to see Nintendo ever acknowledge an issue directly and talk about it ahead of a commitment to fix an issue, this is a major commendable step in the right direction, and I hope that we get more communication like this from Nintendo in the future, because in case you have forgotten, when the Nintendo Switch Online expansion pack originally launched, it was in a very broken state, and we saw Nintendo essentially just stay quiet, although Doug Bowser did acknowledge that he heard the criticism and that they were taking things very seriously. That came out way later on, and historically we see Nintendo just fix things behind the scenes, and fans are essentially left wondering, how long will we have to wait for this fix, if we even get a fix at all? Does Nintendo see this, and are they going to put in any work to actually address the issue? And 9 times out of 10 you're just left in the dark until they do a surprise behind the scenes emulator update or something like that, and then it's fixed and they act like it never happened. Nintendo actually apologized for the inconvenience that it caused, and while that might not be worth very much, it's still communicating notification directly from the company, which is what I like to see and I hope we get more of in the future. Now, the very last thing that we have to mention in terms of Nintendo Switch Online, and really a great news update, is that Nintendo is running a brand new 7-day free trial of Nintendo Switch Online, and it does not matter if you've taken advantage of this same trial period before. And to tie it into next week's promotion for Mario Strikers Battle League, you can absolutely time this free week to be able to participate in the online play for this game. So if I were you, I would wait until something like Monday to take advantage of the free week trial, and then that way you have the Friday through Sunday next week to hop into the online play of that game. As you can see the following posted up from Nintendo on their Twitter, where they say, get a free 7-day trial of Nintendo Switch Online even if you've already activated a previous free trial. Enjoy playing games online with features such as Nintendo Switch Sports, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, and Splatoon 2. So if you're someone who's been kind of on the fence on whether or not Nintendo Switch Online is worth it now compared to where it was before, you can at least enjoy this free 7-day trial period. And it might be a good time to run promotions like this because we are fastly approaching that June timeframe that we are expecting a ton of new game announcements from Nintendo at their hopefully June Direct that we'll see them launch in the first couple weeks of June. That's what I'm hoping for anyway. And free trials are just always great at the end of the day. However, one big criticism I think you can kind of call Nintendo out for is the fact that the expansion pack has been available as part of Nintendo Switch Online since late October last year, and we still have yet to see them run any kind of free trial promotion for that. And that's what I think they need to do. Let people check out the updates to the N64 games, how much better they've become over the course of time with the emulation fixes that we've seen hit the service, and maximize your revenue by getting people to hop into that large game library and see what NSO plus expansion pack has to offer when it comes to a larger library of classic games and multiple free DLC packs that people could hop into and check out in a week's time. I think you see a lot more success with that. And then I also hope we see them readjust the pricing structure, as I think the $50 annual price point is fine for the annual price, but I would love to see Nintendo actually offer monthly tiers for this plan. And I think that also entices a lot of people to sign up because we have that for the base tier service. Why do we not have it for Nintendo Switch Online Plus expansion pack? And if Nintendo's smart, hopefully at something like a June Direct, when we get some kind of updated roadmap on the future N64 games that we can expect to hit the service, we also get stuff like monthly tiered pricing where you can pay for 1 month or 3 months or 6 months or the full year. So I definitely think there's still tweaks that can be made to the service, but a free trial for the base tier is what's available as part of this update. And I'm hopeful that Nintendo will one day provide free trial plus monthly tier options for the expansion pack in the future. And I think it'll definitely make more sense if they continue to support all 4 classic consoles that they have right now and add in Game Boy family of systems in the next major Nintendo Switch Online update. So at this point in the video, guys, I want to hear from you personally on everything we talked about today. Where's your hype levels for Mario Strikers Battle League? Are you planning on actually hopping into the online gameplay of that next week? And definitely share with me overall all your thoughts on these NSO updates. How do you feel about the classic games that were added into NES and SNES yesterday? What do you think about Nintendo acknowledging Kirby 64, the Crystal Shards, the game-breaking bug? And share with me whether or not you're going to hop in and check out the 7-day free NSO trial, and if you think like I do that it is time for them to offer one of these for the expansion pack as well. So regardless of your thoughts and feelings on everything we talked about today, I do look forward to hearing from you guys in the comments down below before you leave the video, as I do look forward to getting a back and forth conversation started with you all around these topics. Go watch yesterday's video next if you haven't already, where we discuss a brand new secret that's been uncovered in Zelda Breath of the Wild, just really showing off the detail and the intricacies of that game, and a discussion around those games that were scheduled to hit NSO that did indeed happen. Also make sure you like, subscribe, turn on your notification bell, and I will see you guys in the next video.